Everyone knows that NASA is working to help us better understand Earth and the universe that surrounds us. But what some people don't know is that NASA's mission includes transferring its space-related inventions to more down-to-Earth applications. At NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, these efforts are led by the Technology Transfer Program.
Oh, there are several markets that we've found in the past and that we've identified for future applications of NASA technology, and they include the medical industry, they include the aeronautics industry, industrial applications, manufacturing, things of that nature.
And NASA technology is being used to improve physical therapy. A new rehabilitative device called SAM is being manufactured by Enduro Medical Technology to assist patients undergoing standing therapy to treat acute trauma or degenerative illness.
The Secure Ambulation Module is a physical therapy device which allows them to walk partial weight bearing, full weight bearing, or non-weight bearing, whether they have a sense of balance or don't have a sense of balance. And this allows them to be up in a standing position without having 3 and 4 therapists having to help them stand. So what it allows you to do is to get that patient up sooner in the rehab process without that patient having the fear of falling and without an injury to the patient or an injury to the staff member.
SAM's origins were at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, where the late James Curley and Wayne Eklund first had the idea for the walker.
Mr. Curley came up with the idea of supporting the person from the sides with the harness arrangement, and Jim and I sat down and we started working ideas on that.
Curley and Eklund turned to Alan Crane for the system's harness.
I just kind of looked around. I'd had actually just grabbed some off-the-shelf windsurfing harnesses, and we gave them a try.
The inventors continued development until the basic walker was complete. Then Goddard's Technology Transfer Program began promoting it at trade shows and conferences. James Curley would demonstrate the walker.
He himself had bad knees. So when they'd go to a show, they'd put him in it, and he'd be happy to demonstrate for hours on end. So he says, watch this, and he hiked it up, and you could just see the pain kind of ease from his face. He says, see, the pain goes away.
Through these conferences and the work of NASA's Commercial Technology Network, Enduro Medical Technology became aware of Goddard's walker. The company saw that it would be an ideal alternative to traditional methods of physical therapy.
Standing therapy has been clinically proven for many years by therapists, and the problem has always been, how do you stand someone that has no sense of balance without using a large number of people? And with cutbacks and staffing at the hospitals and nursing homes, this allows that patient to stand on their own once they're in it.
A lot of the existing systems are almost self-defeating in that they require so much of the person's strength to support their own weight that you wear yourself out just taxing your upper body. And what we really wanted to work was the lower body.
The technology that allows this is NASA's cable-compliant joint mechanism connected to the harness. Unlike a fixed joint, which can move in only 1 or 2 directions, NASA's compliant joint uses short pieces of cable that allow subtle movement in 6 directions.
What the compliant joint does, it basically creates 6 axes of freedom, of which we lock out 1, which mimics the motion of the hip. It's a great system, which is virtually impossible to duplicate with any other mechanical means.
The thing that the compliance provides to the walker is a flexibility to allow the person to walk with a normal gait. And yet if that person stumbles, the compliance can right them, just as like the keel of a ship will keep the ship upright in a storm.
Enduro licensed the cable-compliant technology and the walker from Goddard in order to build a commercially viable product.
One of the benefits of our program is the relationships that we build with industry to make sure that those technologies that companies license from NASA or companies are working with NASA to further develop reach their fruition.
We try to support them however we can, and if Enduro has some ideas of new ways they could use the technology or new applications, we can make use of that synergy to maybe take the technology on to the next level.
Part of the ongoing support provided by NASA Goddard was allowing Enduro engineers to meet with the walker's original inventors.
Enduro was a very good contact for us and allowed us access to the scientists and made them accessible to us, which was a huge benefit in going through the process.
They just wanted to come and talk to the inventors to see what developments had been made, where the technology had gone, did it make sense in their application the way they envisioned it.
Because the NASA engineers had literally taken it and developed it into a product, they had already eliminated a lot of the problems. And you could talk to them about that and say, well, that didn't work, that's why we didn't go there.
As Enduro continued the development, improving the harness and making other additions, the company's contact with NASA continued. This ongoing communication was essential to SAM's completion.
It's moved us into a technology it would have taken us 10 years to come to.
Enduro Medical Technology is now taking orders for SAM, and the product will be introduced in spring 2003.
NASA has assisted us in other areas outside the scientific environment and the production environment by introducing us to people here local in Maryland that can work with us on that type of a product to bring it to the marketplace.
And because the device can be used by a wide range of patients, SAM's impact is expected to be significant.
The market is 1,000 times what we originally thought it was, and we thought it was pretty big. And it gets bigger every day. Every time we ran into somebody who came in to look at it for one reason. He says, geez, I'm a sports medicine guy. This is going to speed up ACL recovery by 10 times.
Indeed, SAM will revolutionize physical therapy and rehabilitation. And what of NASA's cable-compliant joint technology?
There's a ton of things they can do with the compliant cable mechanisms.
Every time we turn around, somebody comes to us with a different use for it.
And the technology transfer program at Goddard Space Flight Center is there to make those connections possible.
Once we come up with the ideas and build a prototype, we generally turn everything over to them. They do the marketing, which is great as far as I'm concerned, because that allows me the time to work on the next project or the next idea.
It's great that you have a program like Tech Transfer that can take that same scientific research and find something that benefits the everyday person in the short term to give you that added value.
If you can transfer this kind of technology, it's the American taxpayers that are funding NASA, and if you can use one of their technologies to benefit really hundreds of thousands of patients a year, they should be transferring that technology back to the community and back to the healthcare institutions so that patients can benefit.